Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. Oh my God. I'm going to be talking to you guys about Medicare. Okay. So I know that I get so many calls and questions about, when can I get Medicare? When am I going to be able to get Medicare? I've been on disability. When am I going to get a card? My cousin told me I was going to get a red, white, blue card. When am I supposed to get one of those things? Is Medicare and Medicaid the same thing? Or people that have Medicaid think it's Medicare and vice versa. Okay. So today I just want to clear up some um, questions that a lot of people have. And I apologize for the delay, y'all. I set the wrong something in when I was setting up the live. Okay, so y'all excuse my tardiness. I would have been on time, but I didn't realize that I had selected to use integrative software. Okay, but now that we got that straight, um, so let's just get down to it because I don't want this video to be too long. All right, so original Medicare. Let me say this. Hold on one second. All right, so original Medicare. Um, I'm going to break this up into segments, first of all. Okay, I want y'all to know that. All right. So this will be part one, and we're going to talk about what is Medicare and who can get Medicare. Okay, so those are the only two things I want to cover today because I want to break this down so finely to where you all are going to remember this. You're going to know it without a shadow of a doubt. If somebody tries to call, like how y'all get a million and one calls about Medicare and you qualify for this and you qualify for that, well, you're going to know not to be, fall into those traps of getting caught in a phone call and getting switched to a different plan that you didn't know that you were being changed to because, they tried to pull the wool over your eyes. Okay. So you're going to know after you watch this video. So be sure you stay to the end so that I can answer any questions that you have. All right. You're going to know without a shadow of a doubt if you're going to qualify for those things that you see on TV. Okay. All right. Or, when those people call you or what you might see online. All right. So what is Medicare to it? This card, okay? This is the card that is original Medicare. Okay. This started in 1965. Hasn't changed much since 1965. But what has changed is the premium. The premiums generally go up every year. Last year, they actually had a decrease, and that was the first decrease that I've seen since I've been doing insurance. And I started in 1999. Okay, that's been 24 years ago. So, original Medicare, okay, the red, white, and blue card. That's why everybody calls it that because it's red, white, and blue, right? Okay, so essentially, when you get this card comes from the federal government. Say it with me, federal government. Okay, it is a federally regulated health insurance program for people who are eligible U.S. citizens and legal residents. Okay. Now, it's funded in part by your taxes while you're working. Okay. So while you work, if you notice, when you look at your deductions and you see Medicare tax, you're like, why are they taking Medicare tax out of me? And I'm not on Medicare. That's because you're paying it forward. Okay. You're essentially paying or helping other people or just helping to fund this program, this federal program. Okay. That's how this system works. So you kind of pay in advance. All right. So just like if you're in your 20s, they're moving the age to be able to qualify for your benefits like your Social Security and things like that. And you pay those taxes now as well, but they're moving those ages like farther and farther away. Okay. So again, while you're working, if you work at least 40 quarter hours, Medicare Part A is covered, your premium for Part A, because it's not free. That's a lot of another myth that a lot of people think, oh, I can't wait to get 65 to get my red, white, and blue card so I can get me some free health care. It's not free. Okay. If you did not work enough quarter hours, then you will have a premium to pay for Part A if you want hospital coverage. And we're going to go over in another segment what the different parts cover. Okay. So I can't see, I'm trying to, I want to be able to see your questions, but I can't see them. I don't know. Let me see if I can. Okay. So if you have any questions, make sure you just put them in the chat below, okay? And let me know where you're watching from as well. All right. So, and that'll help me. If you let me know where you're watching from, and I'll know where I need to do more events, local events in your area, so that I can continue the education process. Because again, I don't want you guys to be taken advantage of. There's so many people out there that they don't follow the rules. So what I'm covering today is simply educational. We're not going to get into plan specific details. If you are needing something, a customized review of what you have, then I have my information in the description. Feel free to go to my website, schedule an appointment, or call me. Okay, and I'll be happy to see if you have what you need and if there's anything else that you do qualify for. Okay, so again, Medicare is not what? Free. Okay. Also, if say you work and you have your spouse on your job insurance and then you retire and go on to Medicare, your spouse who you once carried on your job insurance, your group insurance, does not go on Medicare with you. Medicare is not a family plan, y'all. Okay? It is not a family plan. Say it with me. Medicare is not a family health plan. Okay. All right. A lot of times when you repeat stuff back, I know for me, it kind of helps to cement it into my brain. Okay. So I'm hoping it's going to do the same thing for y'all. So you have different government agencies that administer or oversee different benefits. Okay. So the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, they oversee Medicare itself. But Social Security is the one who determines your eligibility. Okay. So Medicare is not Social Security. Two different things. Okay. So now repeat that. Medicare is not Social Security. Okay. All right. And lastly, Medicare is not Medicaid. Does this card look like this card? No. Say no, Earlene. Those cards do not look alike. Why? Because this is Medicare and this is Medicaid. Care, Cade. Okay? Federal. And we're going to get into this one. Next. This is state. Okay? Medicaid is a state government program that helps pay health care costs for individuals, families, and children with limited income and resources, right? Notice that last part, with limited income and resources. So even if you might qualify based on your income, if your resources exceed the limits that they put in place, you're not going to get this. Okay? You will not get this. Okay? So there are different levels to Medicaid. So again, it's based on your income and your resources. Plain and simple. You don't get this because you turn 65. You don't get this because you qualify for disability. And after 2 years, you're on Medicare. You don't. like nothing else qualifies you for this, and I can't like express this enough, because this is where a lot of confusion comes in. People think, some people actually think that because they got this, that they automatically should get this, but that's not the case. Okay, all right. You still have to meet the criteria in order to be able to qualify for a Medicaid card. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, I hope I'm not going too fast for you. Again, I'm trying to see comments. I don't see any. I don't see any questions, so I'm gonna keep it moving. Okay, like they said, I'm gonna keep it trucking. Now, programs for state Medicaid vary by the state. Okay, so the regulate or the qualifications that you may need for Florida are not going to be the same for Georgia, not going to be the same for Alabama, not going to be the same for California. Okay, it's going to vary from state to state, but they do follow federal guidelines for the benefits. Okay, also, if someone has both of these cards, if you do qualify for both of these, then you're what's called a dual eligible. What is dual, y'all? Dual is two. That means you got two of something. And in this case, that means you have two cards that you can use for your medical benefits. Medicare is your first, and Medicaid is your second. Okay, so then you have one, two, dual cards. You're dual eligible. All right. And we'll kind of get into that into some future segments as far as what that really means for you. But for now, we're going to talk about who can get Medicare. Medicare, the red, white, and blue card, okay? Now, again, U.S. citizens and legal residents can get Medicare. Legal residents must live in the U.S. for at least 5 years in a row, including the 5 years just before applying for Medicare. All right. So if someone, comes over here and they haven't been here for the 4 or 5 years, they're not going to get this. Also, you must also meet one of the following requirements. Be 65 or older. Okay. There's 3 requirements to get this card. That has to be met in addition to the citizenship requirements. Okay. The first is be 65 or older. Or if you're younger than 65, you qualify due to disability, generally after about 24 months. Also, any age with a diagnosis of end-stage renal disease or ALS. Okay, so those are the 3 additional requirements to be able to have this card. All right. Now, again, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Can you have both Medicare and Medicaid? Can you have both? I'm going to give you a little pop quiz. Can somebody put it in the chat? Can somebody answer this in the chat? Can you have both of these cards? And I know it's probably a little delayed. So for the sake of time, but I want to see it in the chat. I want y'all to answer. Can you have both of these cards? Yes. Some people are eligible for both Medicare and Medicaid. And again, they're called what? Dual eligibles. Medicare and Medicaid can work together for your health care costs. Okay? So that was very simple. I pray that you guys got what I was, trying to make sure you understood about what this card means and what this card means. I know it may seem simple, but a lot of people get confused about these 2 cards and how they can qualify for them. Federal program, 65 or older, under 65, due to a disability after 24 months, or ALS, remember, or end-stage renal disease, which is kidney failure. This one based on income and resources. Plain and simple. All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for joining me. And if you have any questions, I am available via one-on-one appointments. So you can go to the link that's in the description, and that is learnmymedicareoptions.com. There are some special enrollment periods right now that that have been extended due to the weather, due to bad weather. So you may be able to make a change. So if you want to see if you qualify, if you're in an area that you qualify, um, then just go to that site, make an appointment, or you can give me a call at the number that's on the um, description, 888-325-1822 extension 1 or 770-746-9184. Thank you guys, and until next time, be blessed.